Hey there, lads and lasses. This here, of course, is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Friday morning. It is 11 o'clock a.m., and that can only mean Pacific Standard Time. That can only mean that it's time for some Buffoncraft SMP Season 6. Welcome to Friday, everyone. Yay! Okay, let's log right onto the server and let's have a look around. Set up a few things here just to make sure that we're doing okay. All right. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's log on in. I don't think there's anybody on the server right now. It appears to be nighttime. Let's do the sleeping thing. So I hope you're all doing well here on Friday. You're looking forward to your weekend. Hey there, Huxley. Let's go for a ride, boy, shall we? Coz, how are you? Oh no, brown coat. Let's see. First stop. Let's go over to the goat farm. The goat farm. That's over here. I did a little bit of decorating. I put up banners and I tried to make them themes that match the halls. Like this is the farmer theme, so we have the yellow and the brown with the flower and the earth, right? So I figured that would be a good theme for the farmers. Over here, the librarian hall, we have the red and white. We have the Minecraft globe with the sky above, I guess. Is a good enough approximation of that. Here for the clerics, we have the purple with the yellow. We have the enchanted apple, which is brewing and stuff like that. And, you know, the sky above. And then over here for the iron trade hall, we have the bricks. But these could be, you could consider these iron ingots, I suppose. And... you know, we do have the masons, so they could be quartz bricks. I think it serves as both well enough. And that's white. So, super cool. All right, let's head on over to here. So every now and then when I'm passing the goat farm, I like to feed the goats and breed them up. Instead of just sitting here and just spending all my time doing that, I just do it in passing as I go by. We have... our first screaming goat, everybody. Bruce Dickinson, of course. The goat of screaming. There he goes. All right, so we actually need one more screaming goat so we can breed up the screaming goats, right? And so that's what I've been doing. I've just been breeding these up and checking the collection chest down below and just looking at the horns. If we have horns... that drop from these screaming goats, we know we have another screaming goat in there somewhere, right? So it's seek. Yeah, we do not have any, so none of those up there are of the screaming goat variety. No, they are not. But we did pick up from Bruce up there, we did pick up some dream horns. So we do have those. So the goal is to get another screaming goat, get them both in a boat and get the goat in the boat. And then we'll bring it back inside here. And then we'll also save two of the non-screaming variety. And we'll put them in a boat. And we'll put each of them in the corners. And then we can breed them up and get the horns that we need. So that's one of the things we're going to do. So let's do some breeding here. And then, of course, eventually I need to, you know, clean house a little bit here and cull the population of the non-screaming ones. You know, we need to do that every now and then. So let's see. Let's just pair this off in twos. Oh. One. Wow. Two. All right. We've gotten two. All right, the rest need a little bit of time. So when I'm not on the server, the chunk is not loaded right? And so the chunk defaults to whatever it was the last time I fed them. Oh, hey, no. The cats. Go for the cats. Now, this kind of farm, usually, I've gotten used to saying farm now. Yeah, I've normalized it in my speech. Usually uses chickens or armor stands. And I thought to myself, well, let me see. They should charge at almost any mob. So the thing I don't like about the chickens is they produce the eggs and then the eggs are laying around. I mean, if you need the eggs, that's great. You get 2 farms at once. At the same time, I don't need the eggs, people. I don't need a chicken farm. So there they go. And so I figured, well, I have these annoying cats around being bred at the villager breeder and the trade hall and the iron farm. They're making these cats, so why not put them to good use? So I dragged the cats over here, and I used the cats as the ramming bait target for these guys. And so, and it works fine. It works great. And somehow it's funnier a little bit, I think. So we'll let these guys do their thing and settle down, regain their strength, I guess. Or whatnot, and then we'll come back on the way back. We'll make another pass and we'll breed them up. See if we can get a partner here for Bruce. Okay, let's just make the rounds. Bruce screaming away. I think he's singing Number of the Beast there where he does that. I wanted to make a redeem for Bruce Dickinson's scream in Number of the Beast, but that scream is over 10 seconds long. It's incredible. All right. I don't expect the iron farm to be producing quite yet because the villagers need to have slept, and I just logged on. So we need to let at least one night pass so they can sleep. So it probably won't be producing any golems yet. I think not. No. So one night has to go by. Whew, we have a lot of iron, people. And this hasn't even been running. I haven't actually been AFKing this thing. Oh, I love this farm. I love it. Yeah, they need to sleep throughout the night. Okay, that's fine. Last Buffoncraft stream, I believe it was the last one. We had set up an overflow system here for the bee farm. So this thing is in good shape now. And again, the chunks have not been loaded. Right. The chunks have not been loaded, so these guys have not been producing since I've done this last. Right. You guys can see where I took out several stacks. Right. The bees also run on a day-night cycle, so they also need at least one cycle to be complete before they produce again. So let me see. That should be fine. We should be good over there. Yeah, we checked out the trade hall. Trade hall's doing extremely well. I think this is the best trade hall I've ever built. So over here we have the villager breeder. I've recently replenished their numbers. I usually like to keep a minimum. I usually like to keep about 8 of these dudes in here, right? And a minimum I like to keep is 4. So, when it gets down below 4, it's time to breed them up again, right? So, one of the things I did want to do, though, is move this breeding structure and get this out of here and relocate it and then eventually make it into a legitimate build, make it into a building, decorate it, give it a little bit of lore or something like that, right? But also still have it functional. And the ideal place for it would be, of course, between the trade hall and the iron farm, because that's where we use villagers. And if we need to replace any of you guys, I'm just saying, I need my emerald box back in my ender chest. Indeed, I do. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, ideally, the breeding structure would have been best located between the trade hall and the iron farm on either one of these sides. But I kind of went and put the bee farm there, and then I decided to put the goat farm here. And I'd like to spread things out a little bit more. So I don't want to... Like, I could put the breeder right here, but it's kind of a little too close to the goat farm for me. I could put the breeding structure like right there between here and here, or I could put it here, or of course we can't put it out this way because there's a big old hole here, right? And I want to keep this, right? I want to keep this. So this kind of area, I guess I sort of built into my own way here. All right, I'm not going to sleep through the night yet. I want to let the night go for a little bit and let the bees and the iron farm villagers do their thing. Yeah, they're out of render distance right now. So yeah, where to locate the breeding farm? I still need to keep it near the trading hall. It would be a little silly to move it too far away. So I'm thinking I might put it around here somewhere. It's still, at least triangulation-wise, is kind of between the trade hall and the iron farm, sort of. So we can think of some sort of equidistant place like right out here, not too far off the road. Right, so the main road will proceed southward straight down there. So I'm thinking, and we're already getting close to this bay, which is a nice location over here. So like somewhere here would be kind of nice. Maybe a little further south. I don't want to get too far away because then it's a little inconvenient to be carting the villagers completely across the island. But also, there's no need to be concerned with that. I don't think we're going to have to restock the entire farm or the entire trade hall. So that shouldn't be that great of a concern. It would usually just be replacing a few villagers and stuff. So maybe this shoreline and this bay and maybe like right where that torch is might be a good place. We'd level this off a little bit, build the structure right here, and then, we could do a little terraforming around there eventually, but this might be a good place to locate this. Right? So we may do a little bit of that on the stream. I'm not really certain. I wouldn't like to do too much of that because I need a lot of dirt and a lot of stone, and I do not have either one of those materials in great abundance right now. And a stream of me going and gathering that stuff, I'd rather be building, right? Okay, I think we've let the night proliferate long enough. Let's drop this down here. So, on other news, we've begun the main build, the design of the main build, and the main function of the main build works. So I've been dropping hints about the main build, and the hint goes something like, if I can get the mechanic to work, it'll probably be the funniest and maybe even the coolest thing I've ever built on the server. It is definitely very funny. But the important thing is the mechanic works. The thing I'm trying to do, I can actually do. So some of you already know what that is. Some members of my community, have already been given a little preview of that. But I'd rather have the build reveal itself as I build, so I'm going to proceed as such. And yeah, there's still a little bit of design work left to do on it. And of course, resource gathering and all of that. But some things that do need to be done is some plotting out. It has 12 main parts that will form a ring around the island. And so locating those sites, those 12 sites, will be maybe something that we do today. So that means loading up chunk base, getting it in a browser, getting a view of the island, setting up the grid on it, cutting and pasting that into Affinity Designer, right? And doing some scaling and then some locating and things like that, right? So, I think that stuff's kind of cool for a stream. There's a little bit of math involved in it, right? But we get to use different tools, and you guys can see how these things are plotted and planned out and stuff ahead of time, how I go about doing that. So some of you who had been around at season 4 got to see a lot of that stuff when I built the big hand structure in there. I used a lot of that kind of stuff. So it'll be cool to get back into that kind of stuff again a little bit. Okay, you can see the iron golems are now dropping because the villagers have had the night in which they can sleep now. Where is Bubbles? There he is. He's at this stage right now. He's paying our friends there a visit. That's a little odd. I expected to see, because I thought that golem came from this platform, but maybe not. They do have a little bit of an upward trajectory in the y-axis. He should be heading on up to the top again, right? There's a little bit of panicking going on up there. There they go. Come on, you guys. Make a golem. They should be pretty soon. Sometimes after they get their first night of sleep, they need like maybe even a second night to get going. So welcome on in, Sage, fellow buffoon. You guys can see the auto shout out there for the real foolish one himself. How's your Friday going, sir? All right, let's see if the goats are ready to be fed. Okay, that's better. Yeah, see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. There we go. And so we're looking for another screaming goat. We have our first one here, and then we're looking to make our second one. And then when we get 2 screaming goats, then we're good. Then we can breed them and get as many screaming goats as we want. So we just need that second screaming goat. And then we'll go over and we'll put them in a boat. And we may have to do some culling pretty soon. Quite all right. Look at that iron lad getting yeeted. Yeah, that's so funny, huh? Oh, there goes the latest one. right off the top. Bubbles up there doing his job. Sometimes some of these platforms, some of these modules will produce 2 iron golems in one pass. God, this thing does its job so much better than I thought it would. Okay. So we're just kind of running around and doing some maintenance right now. But I think it's time to do a little bit of plotting and a little bit of math. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Again, I could move the breeder today. I might. It depends. I gotta say, I really, really enjoy how the season is unfolding. November, I didn't enjoy so much. That kind of sucked. But I think we bounced back from that really strong. So, and again, I got to thank Nova for dropping in and paying me a visit. That really lit a fire under my butt and got me back on track. So I do appreciate that. Let's see. We can do this. We can do this. We have an event tomorrow. Yeah. And so thanks for reminding me to mention that. Yes, we do have an event tomorrow. And I made myself Shut Mountain, particularly Shut Mountain, but Shut Mountain, myself, and Nebula have all have a hand in the creation of that event. We have a big part in that. And so that'll be tomorrow. My time for that will be, let me just double check. I think the event is at 3 for me tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time. Let's take a look. It might be under announcements. Okay, we've got that. Yeah, okay, so it'll be 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, I, of course, won't stream that because I like the buffoons to be able to use whatever language they would like. And so I don't stream it. I will record it, though, and, of course, the other buffoons will be streaming it. So please stay tuned for that. You can drop into the other buffoons streams and check that out, and I highly suggest that you do. Sometimes I make a video, sometimes I don't. I haven't been... I always record it, though. But, you know, editing video is not my favorite thing to do, especially of late for some reason. I don't know. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But you should at least watch the other buffoons streams. It's not just the event that Shut Mountain designed. It's a combination of the devs event, which this time around was primarily Flying Villager, I believe, and combined with Shut Mountain's event. So, yeah, there is that. Okay, I'm going to log off of here for the moment, so I don't die. Let me switch over to the cam scene momentarily. I'll pull up Chunk Base. Let's plot things out. Laying out the location for the different pieces of the great main build this season. And again, the way I'd like the season to unfold is in this first half, I would like to get this main build pretty much finished. And for the second half of the season and throughout the rest of the season, just go about interacting with the other buffoons and then just decorating stuff and building stuff up, right? Going back to the townhouse at Drusty and, decorating that up properly like it should be. And then things around the island, making proper buildings and structures for things and stuff. That's how I'd like to spend the rest of the season. So if the season ends at whatever point, whatever I'm working on looks like it's finished. So yeah, that's my plan. So let me see. Let's load up. Let's load up Chunk Base, shall we? Let's go to apps and biomes. Please just do the thing. There we go. All right, this looks good. Let's. You guys can't see this yet. Let me just dial it up and get it set up here. And then I'll switch the displays over. Okay, let me do this. Terrain, surface, grid lines, expand. That's better. Oh, okay. One thing I have to do. I have to locate the center of our island. I have to confirm that. So let me log back onto the server. Let me take a quick measurement of that. Again, I don't really, well, we can switch the camera over. You guys don't have to look at this during the whole time. Let's see. Let's head back over there and get our coordinates that we mathed out previously. And then we need to locate that on Chunk Base. And that's the center of the, not only the center of the island, but it's going to end up being the center of the entire build. Because the island itself is the build, really, with all of its structures and whatnot. But the main part of that build is what we're laying out right now. There we go. And I'm going to put that right in the stream chat, actually. There we go. So that's the coordinates for the center of the island. Okay, and let us pull up Chunk Base, and again, the moment I get this set up on Chunk Base, then I'll switch over the display. -998. And then 4088. There it is. Let's bring this down. Okay, so here is our Mushroom Island on Chunk Base. Each one of those little grid squares is a chunk. So that's 16 blocks, 16 by 16. So what I would like to do is I'd like to build 12 structures around this island here. Right? If I zoom right up on that. And so if I make a circle around this, its max radius is going to be out here somewhere. And so I don't want this to be too big, but I want it to be big enough where I'm going to capture this. And this is some encouraging stuff because I wasn't worried, but I did have concerns about the structures being a little bit too big. So I'm going to make and getting too close to my buddy's shore over here. I had a little concern about that, but I think we're going to be okay. Also, the mob farm is right about here somewhere. So as the circle passes, it can't get too close to that either. I think if we grab this right about here, we should be doing good. Yeah, can I go one more? Maybe I can. This will swing up to there. Yeah, this might be good enough. Let me see here. So I'm just trying to plot this out to see how much. Yeah, okay, I'll try to grab that and I'll see what that does. Let's do this. Oh, okay, that ain't gonna cut it. Yeah, okay, so this is actually the longest axis, so I'm gonna need to do that. Let's try it again. I think I'm gonna need this to be somewhere out here. Right, let's undo that. I'm changing my mind on some things here as I'm doing this. So let me see. These are actual chunks. These are 16 blocks. So you got to think of 1, 2, maybe 3 chunks. 3 chunks is a lot. All right, that's going to be 30, 48 blocks away. So yeah. Maybe 2 chunks off the shore is going to be quite a bit. So I'm thinking maybe something like this. And you know what, just to be sure I get this right. Ah, darn, this is, you know, it's, this crappy mouse is so hard to control. I just want my old mouse back, please. All right, let's do this again. I need to be 2 chunks up there. And I need to be about 2 chunks over to there. So I think right in the middle of this chunk. And then 2 chunks below this. And about 2 chunks off of that. Now, it's not quite square. I think square would be a little bit more like that. I feel like I should take a bigger... Yeah, you know what? Let's just do this. Because I could niggle around with this for the entire stream. And I really don't want to do that. So I'm just going to do something like that and take way more than we need. Like this. Okay. That should do it. And now, let me see. I'm going to open up. Going to open up Affinity Designer. And again, you guys can't really see this off of on the other display yet, but you will soon. Just let me get it set up. And let me see. I'll leave the browser open for a little bit, just in case the screenshot that we pulled doesn't quite cut it. Okay, yeah, doing something like this. Now, what I usually find is it's a little bit better to adjust the transparency on this and to dial it back a little. Excuse me. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Let's set up the grid and let's scale this to the grid. So view, let's put on show grid. And we should, let's make this invisible for the moment. So let me see. Let's set this up. So I want the red lines to be the chunks and I want the green lines to be the blocks. So I need the subdivisions to be 16. Let me see. Ruler, grid and access manager. Here we go. Advanced. Should be 16 divisions. Let's put a backing layer underneath this one because it's super annoying. All right, let's do that. Let me take a look at some numbers here. It's about 832 by 821, right? There we go. All right, that's good. And now we have a white backdrop so we can see things against it. Let's just lock that out so we don't draw on it. Let's take a look at this. And now we should be able to zoom up on this thing. All right, each one of these should have 16 in it now. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's looking good. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, okay, so we're good. Now what we got to do is we need to scale the image to the grid. Sometimes it's a little tricky to do. Wow, this is going to have to be so much bigger. This is going to have to be much, 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 much bigger. bigger drawings. Yeah. I could make the pixels smaller. Let's try that. Yeah, I could bring the spacing down, right? This is better. Okay. There. You guys can see this now. Okay. All right, so now we need to match the grid up in the drawing to the grid that we have here. Sometimes it's a little tricky. I usually go to the extremes here. In fact, let's temporarily turn off the subdivisions. So right now, these will be set to 0, so we don't see them. What happened? Maybe if I go to... Yeah, and I just make them transparent. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, that's better. Okay, so you can see the red square. We need the gray squares to match the red squares. That's what has to happen. And let me think. I'm thinking we can just start by doing something like this. The other thing is we could do some counting too, and we could just see how many of the gray squares we have over, and then we can make the red squares match that and vice versa, right? We could do that. Oh, but then again, we're stuck with this again, aren't we? I wonder. Hold on a sec. Make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, yeah, so that's just a graphical thing. Got it. All right, so it does match. Good. Oh, yeah, this is so much smaller, huh? All right, I think the best way to go about something like this, and I'm trying to remember how to do this because I don't do this a lot, right? And so to bring that down from the side until they're very close, and then just keep dragging it up like this until they're very, very close. And then we start pushing it around and tweaking, right? You can see we're getting closer there, right? And here's the point where we can just do a little bit of eyeballing here. You know, I know I get some crap for that. You know, Thunder, it doesn't have to be perfect. It isn't. It isn't. We're guessing right now. We're just doing guesswork. We're just eyeballing it. But of course, the more problems we work out now, or the more accurate we get it now, the less trouble we have later. That's where I like to bring this. And we can use the nudge arrows for this from here on out. Like, we can do things like that. Of course, you always get some distortion. So I'm thinking I want to make this square, this gray square, match this red square. It's up enough in the corner where that should be good. All right, so I need to compress it down and compress it in a little bit. Let me see, height, width, and I think I could just dial this in. Like I can do, make it a little less width-wise. Okay, actually width-wise, I want to go a little wider. Okay, I probably want to go a lot wider. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's probably a little too wide there, Thunder. That's still too wide. Okay. Yeah, so here comes the niggly wiggly kind of stuff where you're just tweaking and tweaking and tweaking, right? So you guys probably don't care for this stuff too much. I love this stuff. Oh, here we go. Get a better mouse, Thunder. Yeah, tell me about it. Hey, Thunder, welcome on in, Lone Star. You guys can see the auto shout out there for Lone Star. Our fellow buffoon. How's your Friday going, sir? Okay, you guys can see where this is way too wide. Yeah, somehow I got 590 in there. There it is. All right, that's looking a little better. Still a little bit. Oh, that's really close. Fuck. All right, and we can use the nudge arrows here a little bit. Wow, that is really good. All right, so the idea is usually to get it lined up in one axis and then do the other. So get it lined up horizontally first. So you guys can see, even though that this square is good, you can see as we start to progress over, it gets further and further off. So that usually means more compression. So one of the things we can do is we can just do this by eye if we get down towards the middle. And we can get that middle handle that we can hold on to there. Yeah, I can't find that middle handle. Let me see. 495, 100, 250. It should be somewhere around there. Let's just zoom up. Yeah, I'm right. It's somewhere right around 250. If I keep my eye right on this, this is about where it is. So let's do this. What has happened? Yeah, right about there. Feet. Oh, okay. Here's the handle. Good. So if I just, like, again, I'm just looking to get it close, right? It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Like, that looks pretty good. And again, I'm just looking at the vertical lines and getting it to line up horizontally. I think as we proceed across here, you guys can see that that's a pretty good match. That is a pretty good match. All right, now we got to. I'm satisfied with that for horizontal. Vertical now. Vertical. We need to do the same thing for vertical. So if I just get down here in the center, somewhere, here's the vertical handle right here. Now, if we do something like this, you can see where it's a little bit too far off there. What if I do that? That's too far off. So I think it has to go in more. Like maybe there. Now we need to scroll up. Ah, that's going to look good. That's going to be good right there. I like it. Now, this may seem weird because it's like, here's the whole document, here's a picture. It'll be, excuse me, it'll be fine. Let's lock it into place so that doesn't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? All right, and I think we should be good here. Let's do this. If I go Z like this. So you can see where this now corresponds. Well, roughly. Let's do this. Select, let's go view grid. Because right now, this is representing, okay, let me do this. Because it ain't right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, this is not right at all. All right, let me try this first. Let me dial this back in. Yeah, there's quite a bit of tweaking. Going good. I've been to the gym and now I'm eating pizza. Okay, cool. The body needs fuel. What are you doing? I'm plotting out how the structures are going to go in a ring around my island. I'm doing a little bit of math to do that. What if I do this? You know, I kind of feel like I had this. All right. I had this. All right, let's take a look at this. I'm trying to see what it's doing to itself here. Because it seems to have 10. Yeah, okay. Then I need to do this. Hold on. Guides, grid, and axis. Here we go. Go to advanced. My spacing right now is 64. Should I go up to 74? Nope. I'm almost there. I've almost got this right where I want it. I wonder. Because this is not how I want this to look. I want this to do this. And again, this, you know, isn't a perfect process. You think I would have this down by now. I probably should. That would be smaller. What if I just went twice as big? And I did that, and then I did this. And then to see how they would line up. They line up very, very big. Again, it's doing resolution things too, so it's not completely what I'm dialing in here. See, if I go to... All right. Here we go. This is where I want to be. You see how it keeps changing itself? I haven't been changing that. It's doing it itself, which I don't appreciate. Yeah, it's doing something like this. So I want the red lines to correspond with the gray lines. That's what I'm trying to do. That means they have to go lower. That means there needs to be more divisions. Because each one of those gray squares represents a chunk in the map. So we need, I'm thinking we need more divisions, right? All right, that brought it down to this size. Okay, so that's good. I'm still thinking it should be... hold on. There is roughly 1, 2, 3... Yeah, it should be a factor of 4. Let's just keep going down by 16s. Which means increasing the divisions. Let me see, that would be 58 and 6. Again, that would be 64 spacing. Spacing is less and less, makes it smaller. What happens if I do... All right, that got even smaller. Okay, so I'm thinking... All right. I'm thinking this. I could make the picture bigger too. I can do that. This sucks. My brain has to keep doing a reset every time I open this window. It just has no idea what to do. That's how bad of a multitasker I'm doing. You never do a little bit of math. Your chat's so dead, even ghosts are leaving. Time to resurrect it with... yeah, guess what, everyone? I'm actually being trolled by a bot right now. How am I doing for time, by the way? Oh, I'm at the halfway point of the stream already. Let me do this, and let me kick that. Do some moderation, too. See, this is actually very close. And then if I go over to here and I do view and I go to grid, and then I have the subdivisions be 16 of that, though that would represent the blocks. Right, and so now the red represents the chunk and the green represents the blocks. And then I'll try again to adjust the picture to the grid. But right now, I'm at the halfway point of the stream, so this is usually where I run about maybe 3 minutes of ads, and then take a little break, 3 minutes of ads, switch to stand-up mode, and then come back. So let us do that. Lower that down. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do a little bit of moderation. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, run about 3 minutes of ads, and we will be right back. Hey there, welcome back. Skip! Hey there, Skip. Skip, are you still streaming? You were streaming earlier, I think, right? Hello, still here. Welcome back, everybody. Here, let me switch to stand mode. Standing mode. Haven't gone live yet today. Okay. I must have been looking at your notification from what, yesterday? I think you were live. Anyway, happy Friday. Good to see you. So adjust the camera for standing mode. There we go. All right, let's get back to a little bit of Buffoncraft, Minecraft. Will be soon. Monster Hunter has gotten rather fun. Oh, yeah. You've been streaming that. Yeah. You guys can see the auto shout out there for fellow buffoon, Skipjack81. Please go drop by his next stream, which apparently is going to be pretty soon. You will not be disappointed. Let's switch this back on over. Electronic Biofinder Minecraft. Where is my Affinity Designer? Let's get switched back over to here. So what I'm doing, if you happen to be just joining us now, is I'm laying out the ring of structures that are going to be around my island on the Buffoncraft server. And so I'm plotting out the layout and I'm locating stuff and doing a little geometric stuff there to get things to line up and fall where I want them to fall. And yeah, let's just grab this right down here. So what I've done is I've gone into chunk base. I've taken a screenshot of the map around my island, which includes my island. And then I've pasted that into a graphic software that I like to use called Affinity Designer. It's kind of like Adobe Illustrator kind of thing, except you don't get the annoying subscription. You can just pay for it once and it's done. Let me see. And so now I've made a grid in the drawing app, in the design app, and I'm trying to line up the grid from the screenshot to that so then I can scale things. That's what I'm doing. And again, some of you who were with us for season 4 have seen me do this kind of thing before. And so it's been a while, you know, so I'm getting back into this, trying to remember how I did it the last time. You just reminded me that my desk is an adjustable desk. I could lift it to standing height. Yeah, my legs and my hips and everything are destroyed from all the commuting I've had to do over the last decade or so. And so I can't be sitting or standing for very long. So I usually switch between the two. What I do is I just leave it at standing height, and then I just have a tall stool that I sit on that is the same height sitting as I am standing. And that way I don't have to like raise and lower the desk all the time. I just keep it like that. Plus, I'm used to it. It feels more like a workbench to me. I don't like sitting at a desk, right? So, but that's my advice. If you have those standing desks, is instead of like raising and lowering the desk all the time, just get the tall stool that's a comfortable one to sit on, and then you raise it up to the same height as you would be if you were standing, and yeah, it's easier. I had to work that out during COVID when I was teaching online, right? Because I couldn't go to the school to teach. I had to teach out of here, out of the studio. And so, yeah, that's what I did. So I just have that kind of setup. Skip! Okay, let's try to... And then I have my monitors just mounted up on the wall and stuff like that. And it leaves the desk space open. Okay, let me try to scale this back again. And this time, let me try to... Okay, first of all... All right, so I need the gray squares to match the red squares. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'll just... Oh yeah, this is locked out. Let me unlock this layer. Also, let me close Discord on this PC. So I have the two PCs set up. I'm running Minecraft on PC2, and I'm running everything else on PC1. That takes the CPU load off. But sometimes just for transferring files back and forth, I have to have Discord open on PC1, and it is a major memory hog. Oh, let me reset the playlist too while I'm at it. There we go. All right, so again, this doesn't have to be super, super precise. If we can scale it to get it line, and just do it by eye, we can get it close enough. Just close enough so we can make some decent measurements. And I think I'm a little zoomed in here, a little too zoomed in. Let's zoom out a little more. And I'm also going to drop back the subdivision grid a little bit. There we go. Let's knock that back some. All right, we're getting closer. All right, let me see. We're almost there, actually. Okay, this is good. All right, has to be a little bit smaller, actually. Right about there is pretty good to get a start. And again, you know, I like to set one axis and then do another. All right, let's work on width first again. We can dial this on back now. All right, let's go right down to 800. Oh, that looks pretty good already. Yeah, it needs to be... Actually, it needs to be a little bit smaller. Yeah, okay. Yeah, smaller is the way I have to go. Okay. Right to the chase. There we go. Recenter it. It still looks like it's a little too big. 790, 788. That looks really good. So this will set this square widthwise, and then now if I come over to here, like this, let's check this out. This is looking pretty good lined up all the way across. Let's zoom in on this. So now we can just tweak it a little bit more. It looks like it has to be... let me think about this. It looks like it has to be a little bit smaller. Like maybe to that one. Nope, smaller still. Think about this. And again, you know, I'm just eyeballing this. If I get close enough, that's good for me. Like I said, I just have to be able to make decent enough measurements with it. But usually I can get this thing very, very, very close. Yeah, that's pretty good right there, I'm thinking. Yeah, it does look like it needs to be stretched out. Let me see. Makes sense. I should see how high this chair goes. I have heard Herman Miller and human form chairs are good for joints as well. Yeah, mine's super cheap. I don't even think it was $100. I think it was less than that. And I've modified it a little bit. See, you can do a lot of stuff like this to eyeball this and get this in. Like that is pretty darn good. Now again, I'm just setting the horizontal, right? If I go to the next one, I think it's going to be a little too far off, see? If I go back to this one looks pretty darn good. That one lines up good enough. I feel good about this one. All right, now we just need to set the height. So if I bring the height down to there, then we grab the top part here, you can see where this is off, right? So let's start by at least dragging it up to the top. No, I think going down is going to line things up better. Ooh, that's close. That's very close indeed. Let's see. That looks like it. All right, I like that. Height-wise, let's bring this one up just slightly. 775, that looks good. This is shifting it around a little bit too. That looks good. I don't know. I think that's going to be okay. All right, I think width-wise, maybe by 1 pixel. And then maybe shift it over. I think that's good enough. Let's zoom in on this now. Yeah, see, this is close enough. This is close enough for me. All right, let's bring up the magnitude of the magnitude. Let's bring up the opacity of the subdivisions a little bit more now, so we can see the individual blocks a little better. There we go. Okay, that's pretty darn good. I like that. And this is close enough for me. All right, I'm going to go back onto the server for a moment. Display scene right over here. Let's shut this off and switch. Display 2 over. There we go. There's Shut Mountain. Pros don't plan. They just do. Okay, Shut. I'll tell you what, you can show me how this is done, all right? I'll be glad to take some notes. Okay. Let's do our sleeping here. And not that it really matters. I mean, we are Mushroom Island, although I have been killed by lightning 2 times. Let's turn on. How you doing today, Shot? Are you back from work yet? Are you en route to home, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then back 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4. So this looks like where we're at. Let me do some stuff here. I'm on the diagram right now, locating where the central block is on the diagram. So just give me a moment. I'll be right with you. Right there. That looks good. Black outline, and let me just make absolutely certain. It's the 8th block in. Yes, and it's the 6th block down. So right where this green square is, this is the center of the island right here. This is right where the beacon beam is and stuff, all of that. Right there. So we can, let me think. Now I'm going to locate a circle off of that. And then I'm going to extend the circle out past the extremes of the island here and then see what kind of radius I'm looking at here. Mentally exhausted. I hear you, man. That's like every day. And I'm not even under the same kind of stresses anymore. It's just age for me. Okay. Time to get into your comfy chair, Shut. Get your food, get your drink, sit back. Let me do the mental gymnastics now, and you can just sit there and throw rocks from the sideline like you usually do. But the tag does say backseating allowed. So, all right. Oh, let me do this. Let's make a new layer. Now remember, the red squares represent a chunk. The green squares represent a block. So let's get the shape maker here, the ellipse tool. And there we go. Okay, so that should be centered. There we go. Let's not fill the circle, please. There we go. And let me see. Let's do... Let's do the outline in the really obnoxious red. Mouse is so hard to control. There, right there. Okay, and if I do this correctly, now the problem is I can't set this for the radius. So I have to remember 408, 421. I think that's how it's centering it. One of the things I might be able to do is reposition its center. Sometimes I can do things like that. Let me think. Alignment handles, transform, enable transform origin. Nice. See, transform origin should be right there in the center. So if I, like I'm at 1 pixel by 1 pixel and I'm locked in with the aspect ratio, if I go to 5 pixels by 5 pixels, it should remain centered there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, zoom up. Okay, good. So let's go. There we go. Okay, so now we can just keep extending the radius here. Or actually, this is going to be diameter, right? Because of the way it measures. Until we get it where we want it to be. Oh, now we're getting close. I like that right there. I like that right there, darn it. Right there. Okay, so this is the ring that we're going to make around the island right here. Remember, each one of these red squares is an entire chunk, 16 by 16 blocks. Just put my car in the shop, so lots of financial hurdles to leap over. Oh. And to figure out, yeah, commute. That was a challenge every day, trying to figure out how to get down to the school and back with 2 vehicles and, you know, just the mileage on that and just creeping along inch by inch by inch for over 2 hours, you know, out in the desert heat like this just destroys cars. So the amount of money that Mrs. Thunderhand and I had to spend on keeping that vehicle going was just horrific. What's the circle for? So I'm designing the main build right now, and the build, the entire build is actually the entire island and all the structures on it. But I'm working on the main part of it right now. It's going to have 12 features that will be arranged around the island in a circle. And so I'm plotting out that circle, and I'm exactly where I want those to go. So exactly like a clock, as a matter of fact. So we'll have 4 of them in the cardinal points right here. So that's easy enough to pick out. And then they'll be all 60 degrees from that, right? And so they'll be, 30 degrees apart from each other, right? 60 from each other and then 30 degrees in between, right? So you'll have this one here. 30 degrees will be at 1 o'clock, 60 degrees will be at 2, and then 90 would be at, right, 3 o'clock, and then all the way around, right? And so there'll be larger structures and smaller structures. So north, south, east, and west will be the larger ones. And I may do the smaller versions of them. It depends on how well they come out. I haven't designed those. I've only designed the larger ones so far. So we'll see how those work out. But again, these structures, very soon my island is going to become a very dangerous place to approach. That's the hint I've been dropping. Very, very dangerous. So now I think I could do rotations with this. So if I do this, and I get one line, I can then rotate, and all I'm trying to do is just identify the block, right? So I can go back to this layer here, do this, and if I do zoom, we can get the cardinal points right away just by zooming in right here. All right, so this, I have a choice between like this top block, not like, but no, it's not. It's right here, as a matter of fact. See? Yeah, it's going to be this square right here. So I'm going to put that above there like this. I will take a square like this. I will do this. 1 pixel by 1 pixel, yes. And I'm pretty darn sure that I set that up like that. If it would just do the thing I ask it to do, that would be great. don't know where the circle went to. In fact, I don't even know what this is. Can this go? I think it can. Is that my central one? Are they in... Yeah, I think they're in different places. I want them all to be in the one layer, but... Like that. I think that's what I want. My center one has disappeared now. Okay. Good Lord. Hands, what have you done? Okay, there's that. All right, so this must be the new one. And I just want them... Yeah, okay, they're not going to do it. They're going to do them all individually unless I make a folder, which I don't want to do. Okay, I'll just do that. Fine, whatever. Wow, this mouse is so hard to control. I hate this thing so much. All right, so we have that. Let's make a new rectangle again. I don't see why I have to do this twice, but... I could copy and paste each time. If it would just let me put it on the same layer, that would be faster. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so that gets me the top one. Let's just, please just copy that to the bottom. Just drag this over to here. And let me think. I think the next one is kind of like this somewhere, right? Gonna give me the handle so I can see where it is. Nope, it's not. Okay, there it is. So it looks like this square right here. Yep. So Control V. Here we go. Right there. And let me think. If I do this, good. That's right where I wanted to be. Let's do this. Come on, mouse. Just do the thing, please. God, this mouse sucks so bad. The problem is not only is the mouse way, way too small for my hand, it's so light. It has no weight to it at all. So it just, the slightest movement, just, my hand just, just throws it right across the bench top. What I need is like a huge, huge, like stone or just brick of iron. My friends are in the server right now. Let me see. Sage is in there. Lux logged in, and Nebula logged in, and Genie logged in. Let me remind them that I am streaming. They're buffoons. Okay, there we go. TNT cannons? A big question is, what's going to make it dangerous? Ha ha! Some of my community knows I gave them a little bit of a preview. Get a weighted mouse or stop being so... Did you ever look at the mouse I sent you the link to? Yeah, I did. Again, it's a little too small, Shut. What I'm thinking of doing is just making my own weighted mouse body. And that way I can just take the guts of any mouse and just stick it in there. And because I particularly have to make a strong, a very strong scrolling wheel, because the scrolling wheel is the part that breaks all the time, because my hand just smashes down on it constantly, and I just break those. It's the weakest link. So I'm thinking on just making a custom mouse. Oh, look how tiny this thing is. This is like a child's mouse, like for a baby or something, right? Or some sort of lemur or something. Look at this. Look how small that thing is. This is supposedly an extra large. So my scroll wheel broke last week, but I had the mouse for 6 years. It just drives me nuts. It's just so imprecise. And, I already, because of my conditions, I already have trouble controlling and coordinating my limbs and stuff. That's already bad enough. Like brain to, motor nerves is always very bad. So that's already bad enough. But just to compound that by just crappy tools is crappy expensive tools. I just had my nice Outley mouse, which was nice, really huge, just weighted just enough, just heavy enough. But I don't know. I think I might eventually do that. Like I said, make my own mouse body and then just have it so I can just take the mouse parts and just put it on there, however I want. That way I can just buy some crappy mouse and just take the guts out and just stick it in there. And when those guts break, just take those out and put new ones in and just keep replacing them like that, because this is just not cutting it, people. It's just not. But enough of that. Okay, now this one's actually on the border between two of these. 2 blocks. It doesn't fall neatly in between in either one block or another. I'm going to go for the outer block in that case. Oh, wait, no, it does. I'm not zoomed in. I'm looking at chunks, not blocks. Again. Yeah, see, this one, yeah, see, it falls perfectly. Or perfectly enough. Yeah, see, that I find very satisfying. It's cool seeing Neb's in here. I haven't seen her in ages. Luckily, I had a voucher from work, and for $50, I could use. Nice. The problem is the mouse that I like to use, the manufacturer doesn't make them anymore. They went out of business, so I'm screwed. So I'm thinking of just 3D printing the body of it, right? So just scanning it, 3D printing it, making that body, and then I can just, fashion the bottom plate of it and stuff so I can just drop in various parts, right? Try to make it universal like that if I can. The things that one has to do. All right, now I'm looking at the green squares, and I think I'm okay here. Now, even though I don't have coordinates marked on this, I can just count chunks to get to the chunk, and then once I'm in the chunk, I can count over the blocks and then place the blocks. So yeah, that's good. So I know that's probably hard for you guys to see, but you can see I have, because the handles are showing at least, I have north, south, I have east and west, so I have those. And then I'm thinking, if I can take a line from this to this and then rotate it by 30 degrees, I can locate 2 more and then 4 more and then mirror them, get 6 and 8 of the remaining ones, and I can get those ones done. How am I doing for time here? In 10 minutes? All right, maybe I'll just locate 2 of those in that time. Let me take a look at this. The one. This looks like about 150, so that line is going to have to be, let's say, minus maybe 200. Let's say it's going to be 500 long. So let's do this. There we go. Let me grab a line here. I think it'll let me grab it right from the center of this block. Yeah. It'll let me do something like that. And then if I grab this thing like this, let me see. Come down here. I'll just say 500. I'll zoom out. Now I can move this down in the Y. And I'm just going to guess around 400. Yeah, that's close enough to the center. Oh, wow. It doesn't. All right, let's make it longer than 500 then. That's better. Now we just got to line up the centers. Come on, cooperate. I think that's on center now. Uh, 408.5, 421.5. 08. Yes, it is. Okay, and the circle is 560. So if I did this at 560, let's make it go over a little bit. Well, I don't know. Let's do this. There we go. So now we have a nice diameter like that. Now, if I rotate this, this should rotate about the center, not about the ends. So positive 30. That's a little bit too much, right? I mean, that gives me those, but why is it doing that every time? It's putting it in the same spot every single time, despite what I put in for a factor. There it is. Okay, it's going off the origin, not off of. So it's not rotating from this line where its origin is located to that. It's the origin of the grid. Got it. Oh, shot. Thanks for doing the mod thing. Okay. So since I've moved the line now, we can locate, we have two more locations. We have our 1 o'clock and we have our 7 o'clock, right? And that should, we'll locate the squares for these, and that should bring us to about the end of the stream. So now I have a choice between like this block and this block. It's right in between those two blocks. In this case, I'll go for the outer block, I'm thinking. Because it doesn't really matter. If you get down to the very block, that's not a big deal. So I'm going to go for that. block right there, and that's where I'm going to locate that one. And you know, it's close enough. And then the same thing with this one. I have a choice between this inner block and this outer one. I'll go for the outer one. There we go. Okay, that's cool. All right, so, and then I'll proceed to go around and I'll locate the other ones. What I'd like to do now is, I have like 2 minutes left of the stream. I'd like to go out and at least drop the north block into the water and mark where that is, and then we'll wrap up the stream. So let's do this. So it's on the same line as the center, right? We know that much. And then we can count the chunks over, and we'll locate the chunk first. Here we go. So it is, here's the central chunk: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's in the 18th chunk away. Okay, let's do it. Oh, somebody did the sleeping. Nice, thank you. We have some dirt blocks, so we can mark it. That's fine. All right, this is the chunk, so we need to count 18 of these up. 1. And we got to do this carefully now. Chunk number 1. Number 2, chunk number 3, chunk number 4, chunk number 5, chunk number 6, chunk number 7, chunk number 8, chunk number 9, chunk number 10, 11, 12, this is out, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and it's just over here, chunk number 18. Right here. Okay, so it's chunk number 18, and it looks like it's 3 blocks in and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks over from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 3 blocks in. 1, 2, 3. It looks like that. That looks like it. Let's just double check the chunk counts, and then we'll call it. This is good. It's still within, and it's going to be a pretty big structure, so it's still, I was afraid that it might be a little too far out from the island. But no, it'll render in just fine. I feel really good about where this is located. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, entering into chunk 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and here we are. Good. We did it. Okay, so that's where our first part of the build is going to be located, right out there. Again, you know, it's a little bit of work at the beginning here to lay this stuff out and to measure things, to get things to line up. But once you have it in place and you have it scaled properly, then there's like no thinking after that. It's nice. Yeah, you just place things where you have them plotted out. You don't have to think about it at all. You just drop things into place. It's nice. You can just build, build, build. All right. So next steps would be for me to plot out the other locations and then go around and mark the locations. That's what's going to happen next. Let's see. I think I'll grab... I was going to pose for a thumbnail, but let's maybe go over to... Let's sign out over by the goats, shall we? We'll mislead the viewers and think them that... let them think that the entire stream was about goat farming by the thumbnail. And then they get on and it's all this geometry. There we go. I'll shut off those obnoxious chunk borders. Let me see. Where is Huxley? He's over here, right? All right. Then we'll log off over by Bruce Dickinson. By Bruce, the goat. Oh, I love this place. I am going to be very, very fond of this base. I mean, I already am. And this is going to be one of my favorite bases. All right. Bruce! Whoa. Sing, feel, ponder, sing, feel. These are all normal horns. Yeah, no screaming goats. No screamers. Let's go, ladies. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I just want to make sure I have an even number, right? That way there's someone for everyone. All right. Can I do this and still have the name tag show? Jesus. kind of, but not quite. And, oh, you guys haven't been able to see anything. You guys need to tell me that kind of stuff. There we are, like this. There's my screaming goat. All right. So you guys weren't able to see, but what I did is I swam out into the water and I marked where the 12 o'clock, the northern structure is going to be. So that's what I did during that time. Sorry about that. Okay. That wraps up our stream. Let me, now that I have my screenshot up there, let me change my status back for these guys now. Screaming goats. All right. That. All right, let's set up a raid. Let's see if there's anybody out and about. Let's go say hi to Skip. All right. File save here. I'll close this out. Yeah, I'm just saving this Affinity Designer file before I get too far along here. Let me do that. Saving the document. Document has been saved. Close out this stuff like this. We'll do this like this. Oh, that was Nebula who did that. Who did the moderation for me. Thank you, Nebs. Oh, and Shuck got the one before that. Okay, understood. Okay, there is the raid message in the chat. You can copy and paste that into the chat if you would like to join us on this raid. And I always encourage the viewers to join us along on these raids. Even if you can't stay for the entire stream, if you could just drop in and just say hi. And if you feel so inclined, a follow, some bits, some subs, that would be really cool. Let's set up the raid itself. And there we have the raid for Skipjack. 81 is now counting down. It is in progress. Family-friendly viewers, just be reminded that Skip Stream is intended for mature audiences. There might be a little language in there, salty jokes here and there and stuff, but Skip's an awesome dude. And I can't say enough good things about him. We have a lot of shared community, so chances are you'll see people in there that you know, and it'll be cool. Let me see. We just be reminded that we do this Buffoncraft stream every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our next stream will be Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Kachi time. And the stream following that will be Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Generations, and we should be back on the Generations 5 survival world. Also, I'd like to remind everybody that at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, the Buffoons will be having an event. I will not be streaming it. I will be recording it, but I won't be streaming it. I want the Buffoons to be able to speak freely how they will without walking on eggshells and stuff like that and being distracted. But several of the buffoons will be streaming it. You can see it in any of their streams. Please drop in and say hi to them. It'll be super, super cool. Thanks for dropping by, everybody. Reading out to Skip now. Bye for now, everyone.